Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode. So, after finally finishing up that Darkrai quest for real, as indicated by my PC, where I will see our lovely Darkrai here, which I will move into my shiny legendary box now, we will be tackling another quest. I don't think there'll be any tough battles, so I will just hold on to this team for now. If there is, well, that would kind of suck. Alright, so I'm going to head over to the right and find New. In case you can't remember who that is, neither can I. I believe it's the woman with, or person with blonde hair. Yep. Alright, so with that we're told where to head to next, so... Oh yeah, as you can see they're all missing now, alright. I'm just curious, they don't have anything to say regarding their absence, right? Yeah, nothing to say. Oh, forgot to talk to Elias after the Sanctum incident. Oh well. Oops. Alright, nothing too crazy, but we do get a little bit more lore. Alright. So anyway, we want to make ourselves over to Barrow Ward. That'd be the easiest way. That's Jasper Ward. Because from the Barrow Ward, we can more easily reach where we need to go. Alright. From here, we want to head over to the left. Into the Rhodocrine jungle. And we want to find the large tree at the top here, so I believe it's this way. Ah yes, here it is, the picnic. Okay, if you talk to Lumi here, you progress the quest. Alright, so we have to head over to the Spice. So if you don't remember where that is in the Onyx Ward. Or Obsidian Ward, excuse me. Actually, it's by the nightclub, actually. So maybe you should have head there first. But anyway, you can reach it here. Right here, the Spice. Pretty obvious signage. And then we want to talk to this lady behind the counter here. Huh? I'm guessing that's just in case you somehow get rid of them, you can buy more for this quest. Oh no, these are... Wait, did I say 80 HP or 180 HP? Okay, maybe you can buy them here during this quest, but you won't be able to later. Alrighty. Well, they went quite a ways just for this picnic, all the way to here. Alrighty. Ooh, the coloration is a bit different here. Alright, so here we have two choices. You either go through that door or enter the underground portion of Rhodocrine Jungle. So we want to head down to the Underroot, so I believe there is a little door area portion we can enter through on like the left side over here somewhere. Yes. If all the memories coming back to you, there is an entrance via here. Yes. What the hell? I didn't pick this up. Alright, I'm gonna cheat it a little bit. Because I should have picked this up earlier. Oh, yeah, because you can fall down that hole there. Alright, there we go. Small XP candy, honestly quite useless for me at this point. Alright, so here there'll be a bunch of ZCells floating around, so I'm just going to number them all in consecutive order, like ZCell 47 dash however many we pick up. So, up here we can pick our 47th one. You can also come down here and pick up 48th one, and then we can talk to Shelly as well. Shelly does not have much to say. Alright, over to our right here we can pick up our 49th one. And then if we continue a little bit more, we can pick up our 50th one. Alright, and then getting off of this step here, we can come down here and pick up the 51st ZCell. And just to the right, we can pick up our 52nd one. And down here, we can pick up our 53rd one. Continue a bit up, and we can pick up our 54th. And then to our right is our 55th. And then we need to head down one more to pick up our 56th ZCell here. So that's it for all the ZCells to pick up, at least in this area. So now we're going to head back up to the door that we did not enter. Alright, it's nice not having to worry about wild Pokemon. Alright, save, and then head on through. Okay, there's a light shard here for some reason. Alright, so this next quest will involve matching or knocking out Pokemon, so to speak, to progress. So as you can see, there are 2 Umbreon here and 3 Espeon. So, according to Big JRA, we need to balance the light and dark energies of each room. They have really long names: Anomalous for light and Umbro for dark. We'll go with light and dark because that's easier, IMO. Alright, so every species has a prime number value among the first 8 primes. Hopefully you know what a prime number is, and they will add up to certain values regarding the light and dark Pokemon in each room, and the ones that are knocked out will tell you the current score, making them equal to continue. You cannot knock everything out. So, in this room, you can see there are 2 Umbreon and 2 Espeon, so we need to balance that, so we just take out an Espeon. And we do have to battle them. Okay. Hopefully your Pokemon are strong enough to just one-shot everything. Okay, I'm guessing there's going to be a light shard in every room just in case you need to heal. Alright, so with that, is this Eve? I can't tell because of the color. Yeah, okay, so it's Eve. Eve tells you exactly what you need to do. You still need to do a little bit of math. Is this a Chingling? It is. Okay. So in this second room here, Chingling is 2, Espeon 3, and Muddy N is 5. So, through extension on the first floor, Umbreon is 3. This might take a pen and paper, you want to do this. So as you can see, there's only 1 Mightyena up here, so obviously if you do the math, you figure out you need to take out a Chingling. So we will just one-shot you. Alright, so we gotta head up. Okay, cool. Alright, so Big J has solutions for us. You can see Miss Magius is over there, so that there's a wrench in the plans. So you can do some big math on that. There's also a Togetic here, so... Oh, there's two Miss Magius? Huh? I only see one. Oh, okay, no, that's for the fourth room. Alright, so here in this room, if you do the math, figure out Togetic is 7 and Umbreon is that, and then Noelle will tell you the dark value. So based off of that information, you have to beat Umbreon, and you'll also find out that Miss Magius is worth 7 as well. Let's hope Focus Blast hits here. Okay, thank you. Very cool, Noelle. Alright, proceeding up. Big Jar A tells us that the totals are 12 and 14. I'm going to assume that's light and dark. There are two Miss Magius, a Togetic, a Cleffa, and an Espeon. So, BJ, there's quite a few solutions here. So, since we now know the values of Togetic and Espeon, we can conclude Cleffa is 2. So we will need to at least knock out an Umbra Pokemon, but not both of them because that will reduce the total. So if we knock out a Miss Magius, we'll need to knock out Cleffa and Espeon. So, find a Miss Magius. Alright, so it is a ghost type, so we need a dark type move. I don't have that. I think Alakazam can still figure something out here, though. Alright. So now we need to find a Cleffa, like this one. And then find ourselves an Espeon. That should open up a ladder, yep. Alright. Alright, so here in this fifth room, the totals are 10 and 9 respectively. There are 3 Umbreon, and then 1 of Flabébé, Floette, and Florges. However, we're not given the values of those 3, however. So, if you have to do the math here, we know that since the values are 10 and 9, and there's only one way to make 10 from 3 primers, it's by 2, 3, and 5. And it's not immediately obvious, but maybe you could have intuited it from this puzzle, that the more evolved a species is, it will have a higher value. So through that, you can probably guess that Flabébé will be 2, Floette 3, and Florges 5. And so with all of this information combined, we will need to knock out either 1 or 2 Umbreons. But that would change the value, because you cannot obtain certain prime numbers via 2, 3, and 5. So we need to knock out both of the Umbreon, a Flabébé, and a Florges. So that will leave us with 1 Umbreon and a Floette. So you have a total for values of 3 and 3, excuse me. Alright, so find 2 Umbreon basically. Let me put in Heracross instead, because Focus Blast got missed. Oh, Pin Missile is a good choice too. Alright, then we find ourselves a second Umbreon. Alright, find a Flabébé. Hopefully you can recognize what a Flabébé looks like. Alright, so this is a Florges. Floette is this smaller looking one, so we need so this must be the Flabébé. No, this is the Floette. Flabébé is a tiny one. Take out this Flabébé. Alright, fairy type, not gonna lie. Alright, we have to go with Bullet Seed. Alright, so we took out a Flubebe, and now we just take out the Florges. I did not have a good Pokemon to deal with fairy type moves. I guess we can send in Togekiss. Okay. Hopefully it will flinch, doesn't hit me. Nice. I mean, we can get free heals, but still, you know. Alright, with that we can head on up. I'm gonna heal just in case. Fantastic. Alright, so this 6th room here has some huge totals of 30 and 26. There are 2 Floette, 1 Florges, 1 Chingling, 2 Espeon, and 1 Gramble. And on the Umbro side we now have 2 Zweilous. So there's some big brain stuff going on. 2 Zweilous and Umbro make an Umbro total of 26, so Zweilous must be 13. If you do the math of subtracting 1, 2, 4 3s, and 1, 5 from 30, we can conclude that Gramble is 11. So, obviously you cannot just subtract 4 from the 30 to make 26. We need to knock out 1 Zweilous, then knock out a Gramble and both Floettes to reach 13 on both sides. So, find a Zweilous. Oh, here we are. It is Dark Dragon, so Fairy type should be good enough. Alright, then we need to find a Gramble. Oh man, I wish I had my Metagross with me. I could just swap out for Metagross right now, but we don't need to do all that. Where's a Gramble? Oh, here it is. Maybe I should swap my Pokemon around. Oh, never mind, that's enough. Alright, now we need to find the Floettes. A Floette is the one holding a flower. Alright, now we need to find the second one. Oh, here it is. Alright, with that, the next room has opened up, so head on over. Alright, here in the 7th room, the totals are 24 and 21. There's a Spritzee, a Kadabra, and 2 Kadabra, as well as 1 Houndour, 1 Murkrow, and 1 Zweilous. So, first we need to figure out the values. Since the anomalous total is even, and there are 2 Kadabra, that must mean they will always have an even total. And this implies Spritzee is even, since it is a prime, so Spritzee must be 2. And that is how we know that the 2 Kadabra are 11. And then we have Murkrow and Houndour, meaning they add up to 8, so the other one of them must be 3 and the other 5. So if we take a look at all this math here, and think about the anomalous side, the dark side, or the light side, excuse me, keeping 2/3 alive would result in either 13 or 22, and keeping 1/3 of them alive would result in 2 or 11. And none of the Umbro Pokemon can be at 2 or 11, since it starts at 21, meaning 13 must be the target value. So knocking out 1 Kadabra will get us to the 13 on the anomalous side, and since Zweilous is also value 13, we can knock out Houndour and Murkrow without being sure of their values to finish this room. So, we need to find a Kadabra. Alakazam, taking out Kadabra should be good. Alright, now we need to find a Houndour. Is this a Houndour? I can't tell because the sprites are so bad looking. But I'm going to assume that's Zweilous, so we have to knock out both anyway, so this must be Houndour. Dark Fire, whatever, this should be enough. Alright, I'm gonna assume this other very terrible looking sprite is Murkrow. What was this, dark flying? Okay, this should be good then. Okay, next we have the 8th room. The totals here are 18 and 24. The anomalous are Gramble and Togetic, and the Umbral are Houndour, Drifloon, and Mandibuzz. There's one of every single Pokemon I just listed. Alright, so Big Jar A says we'll figure out the values of the Umbral Pokemon. If Houndour is 3, then Drifloon and Mandibuzz must be 21. Two odd numbers cannot sum to that odd number, so one of them must be 2, and the other would be 19. If Houndour is instead 5, then Drifloon and Mandibuzz would total 19, and by similar logic there would be 2 and 19. And so that leads us to need to target either 7 or 11, thanks to the anomalous only having 2 Pokemon. So how can we get 7 or 11 in the first case when the Umbral values are 2, 3, and 19? Well, we can't. One knockout would mean a total of 5, 21, and 22. In the second case, however, the Umbral values being 2, 5, 17 would mean we simply have to knock out the 17. And since that solution exists, we can conclude Houndour is 5. We are unsure if Drifloon is 2 or 17, but later puzzles reveal that we can assume all evolutionary line members can exist even if they aren't present. So if we assume Vullaby exists, Mandibuzz cannot be a prime of 2, so Drifloon must be 2 and Mandibuzz must be 17. So, long story short, we need to knock out Mandibuzz and Gramble. So here we have a Gramble. Now we need to find a Mandibuzz. Is this a Mandibuzz? It looks like it. Alright. Head on up into the 9th room here. This has 2 totals of 20 and 31. The anomalous the light Pokemon are Clefable, Chime Echo, while the Umbral side consists of Poochyena and Eevee, Vullaby, 3 Dino, 1 Hydreigon, and 1 Misdreavus. And here we're finally told that evolutions increase in value, but you could figure that out as well. This one's supposedly easier. Zuhailus is 13, so Hydreigon must be 17 or 19. Excuse me, there are 7 non-Hydreigon Pokemon. So if Hydreigon is 19, then the remaining value would be 12, and that's not enough for the remaining 7 to have a minimum of 2. So if Hydreigon is 17, that means all the other Umbral Pokemon will be a 2. So very easy math from there. As for the anomalous 2 Pokemon, they total 20, so one must be 7 and 13, or 3 and 17. We can't generate 7 or 13 on the Umbral side, so Chime Echo and Clefable are 3 and 17. And since Cleffa is a 2, we can infer Clefairy must be at least 3. So Clefable is not a 3 and must be 17 according to all that fancy math. So we need to knock out everything except Hydreigon and Clefable. So basically any big Pokemon, you leave them alone. So there's a Scrafty here. No, this is a Dano. So once again, just leave the Hydreigon and Clefable alone. This must be a Misdreavus, yeah. Eevee. Alright, well that's a Hydreigon based on how fucking ginormous it is. I'm stupid. Alright. This might be the last Pokemon, if not, there's probably one more. Yeah, there's one more. Chime Echo. Alright, heal up. I don't think there's a battle, but always good to be safe. Alright, so with that, we reach the top of this tree. One thing to note, in the grass you can now find Decidueye, fully evolved, and you can also encounter Croaky and Frogadier via fishing if you use, I think, the best rod you have available. Which you should, Master Rod or whatever. Alright, so if we go all the way to the left here, we can find a very secret ZCell, that our 57th one. And of course, if there's water, you can do some fun stuff on it, like surfing. So if we surf on it, we can actually reach land here, crawl up ourselves, find ourselves our 58th ZCell. And that is actually it for this quest right now. We cannot progress it any further. So if you talk to Noelle one last time, you can actually okay, I think you need to encounter that before you can actually talk to Noelle to be let down. Yeah, with that, we figure out how to complete this quest, which is acquiring 100 Z-cells. We are only at around 58, so we still have quite a few quests really to do before we can get to that. Excuse me. Alright, I'm gonna assume if you go in here, there's a barrier in the way. Yeah. Alright. So, we're going to fly back to the nightclub, see if there's any unique dialogue. If not, we will continue along our way. Laura does not seem to be here. Don't know what Laura is up to. Okay. All these fun sparklies. Okay, yeah, that's it for this quest. Alright, well, I will save, and then I'll see you all in the next episode, so see you all later.